Furious 7 is the latest installment in the Fast and Furious franchise. And it's directed by James Wan, stars Vin Diesel, Jordana Brewster, Michelle Rodriguez, Tyrese Gibson, Ludacris, Dwayne Johnson, Jason Statham, and sadly, the late, unfortunate Paul Walker in his final role. This one's a continuation of Part 6. They're all free now. They're back in California, back to the house from the original film. And Owen Shaw, the villain from Part 6, his older brother is now out for revenge after the family and starts going after them one by one, including killing Han, the Asian guy from Parts 3 through 6 in Tokyo Drift. Yeah, they bring back the car crash scene from Tokyo Drift, because when I watched Tokyo Drift, I totally wanted to know what the reason was that Han crashed and what was going on with the people around him and why did that happen. That's exactly what I wanted to know. So the team gets back together to go after this new villain who is hurting their family. So starting off with this one, we have a new director for the first time since Part 3, which is a director I really like, James Wan, who's directed a lot of horror movies. He started off with Saw, the infamous torture horror movie from 2004, which I enjoy. Dead Silence might be his weakest movie. Insidious, The Conjuring, and Insidious Chapter 2. So it was very interesting me finding out that he's going to be directing the new Fast and Furious movies. Because I was really wondering, like, okay, he's good at horror. Can he do action, popcorn fun? And, well, yeah, he can. He can do it really good. James Wan is a really good director. He knows where to put the camera. He knows how to get some good performances out of his actors. Everything a director needs. And he made a really fun action popcorn film, which I was so happy to see. Because I was wondering, like, is he just a horror movie guy? Can he do action? Because there are some people that can only do one genre and aren't very good at other genres. But no, he's actually really good at action. I know he has this one other movie called Death Sentence. It's the only one I haven't seen of his, and I believe it is more action-oriented. And I've heard it's alright, so I wasn't really sure about this movie. But no worries, he's great as a director for this movie. This movie is a lot of fun. The action scenes do get more insane. They do the sequel thing. More intense, more over the top. They do, and they take it to whole new levels. If you've seen the trailers, you know some of the stuff they do. Freaking skydiving cars out of an airplane, 100 feet in the air. Jumping in a car from skyscraper to skyscraper to skyscraper. It's insane, and even in the context of the movie, it's so out there, so outlandish. You really have to just go into this movie going, I'm here to have fun. These might be some of my favorite action sequences in a Fast and Furious movie because they're so just entertaining to watch and really are well done for their over-the-topness. You do buy it. You begin to buy it a little bit. Even if they are so out there outlandish, you're kind of like, you know what? I'll go with it. Fine. It's Fast and Furious. I'm enjoying the movie enough. And that is the sign of a good directing and good writing, because if this movie was poorly written or poorly directed, you wouldn't go with it because you wouldn't like the characters, you wouldn't like what's going on, the pacing would be horrible, whatever it would be, you wouldn't go with it. I will go with some over-the-top action if the movie is fun to watch, if the characters are likable, if I can go along with the story. I will go with your over-the-top action. If you watch all these reviews back to back, it's going to start sounding repetitive, but it is what it is. It's a popcorn film. If you think I'm saying this is almost as good as freaking Die Hard 3, no, it's not. But I will give it props for being this kind of movie really well and doing a great job at being this kind of movie. Is it a perfect film even as a popcorn film? No, it's not. It's got problems. So I guess this is as good a time as any to mention the fact that Paul Walker, while production of this film was going on, was involved in a tragic car accident that took his life. It's horribly sad, and when that happened, honestly, I didn't even believe it at first, because TMZ was reporting on it first, and I was kind of like, okay, it's TMZ, are they lying? I just don't trust TMZ, like, just as a general rule. So when they were talking about it, I was like, okay, when real news reporters come in, when ABC or someone talks about it, then I'll believe it. And then, unfortunately, they did, and turns out TMZ wasn't just full of crap, because you never know what they're reporting. They want a story. They don't care who they hurt, what happens. They just want a story. So I'm really tentative when I ever hear anything from TMZ. But unfortunately, this was true. It's really sad, and this movie got delayed, and it had to be rewritten. I would love to know how this was originally supposed to go down, like how it was originally supposed to end and everything. That would be really interesting to hear. But how they do rewrite it is okay. There are some script problems, but I do wonder if that's because of the rewrites that were necessary because of Paul Walker's death. I feel like it was. There are some shots in the movie where you can tell that that is Paul Walker's brother. There's shots like where he's in the background and Mia and Dom are talking or something, and he's in the background playing with his son or whatever, or they're not really showing his face. But there's a lot where you do see Paul Walker in screen. I feel like Paul Walker's character was probably in the movie even more. But because of what happened, they had to work around it. They worked with what they had, and it works well enough. Overall, this is a good movie, and I won't say what happens at the end, but they deal with his character really well, really respectfully, and I loved how they deal with it. They do a tribute to Paul Walker, and it was sad. Paul Walker's acting in this movie also is good, and I'm not just saying that because he died. It is actually good. As are all the actors in this movie. Jason Statham's villain character is kind of cool, but that was one of the problems with this movie. To get back to the actual movie itself, that was one of the problems with this movie, that it starts off with him being this badass who's going after them, and he's like, oh my god, this villain might actually be dangerous. This might be actually a legitimate, good villain presence. And then he kind of gets sidetracked into other stuff, and he's still there, and he's still a threat, but he's not as threatening, because it's like he stops doing stuff. I was expecting more people to die, and no, not Paul Walker because of that, but legitimately, I was expecting maybe another character to die. I don't know who should have died, but I was expecting maybe someone else goes down. Now, that's not to say I want the Dark Knight level villain. I don't need the Joker, okay, destroying stuff in this kind of movie, but I would have liked a little bit better of a threat of a villain for these characters. I mean, that would have made the movie a little better, made the villain better. So to wrap this up, I had a lot of fun at Furious 7. This was a great movie. Go into this movie and just have fun. I went with it. I had a lot of fun. I sat there. I soaked it in. I enjoyed it. And yes, just like Fast 5, I'm going to give this movie 4.5 out of 5 stars with a note that this is an over-the-top popcorn film. Needs to be seen as that. Nothing more, nothing else. So that's my review of Furious 7. Hope you liked it. I reviewed most of the other Fast and Furious movies, so check out those videos. And if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.